Welcome, everybody, to the Maelstrom Lounge, and my name is Peter. Hopefully, with hopefully the something new here for Maelstrom Radio, YouTube. Uh, I'm here today because I want to talk a little bit about World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14, and something I've noticed across both communities lately. Because if you know this channel or know our podcast, you know that I've been playing World of Warcraft since about vanilla, and I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. Well, I was in the beta for original Final Fantasy 14. My computer couldn't handle it, but 2.0 onward, and of course Maelstrom Radio, which was a Final Fantasy 14 podcast. I love both these games, and I'm here to talk about the sentiment from, and I wouldn't say the entire community of World of Warcraft, and not the entire community of Final Fantasy 14, but maybe a section of each community that are doing this WoW Warcraft versus Final Fantasy 14 um shtick. uh and it's not great. Um and maybe it's because I'm older and I used to do that. Like I used to be very like, oh, World of Warcraft is the best game ever. And then later on, as my I was starting getting older and I tried new MMOs, and I started to realize uh you know, there are other games out there. And so I want to talk a little bit about that and how, these two communities can do to hope suppress, I guess, a lot of those sentiments, and try to uplift both games. Because I'm gonna say right off the bat, I understand if you play World of Warcraft and that is your jam, and you look at Final Fantasy 14 and that you're like, it's not for me. I get it. It's not going to be for you. Same with Final Fantasy 14. If you play a Final Fantasy 14, you look at World of Warcraft and you say, "Hey, that's not for me." I respect that. I think it's mostly keeping that respect mutual for both communities and game. We don't want either game to fail, right? I don't want World of Warcraft to fail, and I sure as hell don't want Final Fantasy 14 to fail. Um, so what I would like to see is both communities getting along and both hoping for the best for both parties. I would like to see World of Warcraft do well, right? It's a shame that they're waiting for a patch, and I understand, you know, they're waiting for, you know, the current climate of the world, and how things change and working remotely, and that how that affected their dev team, and we have a long stretch till Endwalker in November. Really, like the patch 5.55 just came out today, and it's pretty much a long haul until November. So both games, both sides should really want both games to do well, and the developers both respect each other. Yoshi P has gone to BlizzCon. He plays World of Warcraft. There's folks at Blizzard that work on World of Warcraft that play Final Fantasy 14. Both games learn from each other. Both games take things from each other and say, "Oh, they did that really cool. I wonder if we can do that." And World of Warcraft is they're starting to do. There was always a story and a narrative in World of Warcraft, but they never thought about how to bring the camera into it and shoot it like a movie. How they are. And that's because of Final Fantasy 14. Are they there yet? The same way Final Fantasy 14 is? No. But are they going to work on it and put money towards it? Yeah. And do I think that Final Fantasy 14 raiding can learn from World of Warcraft's raid scene? Yeah, I think they learn a lot from their raid design. I think they do a lot of cool stuff. I raided in Shadowlands, and I've raided in Final Fantasy 14. I miss the days of uh binding Coil and Alexander running through a giant robot and running through the binding coils in these massive zones. You know, I I have love for both these games, and I think there's room for both of them. There's room for all MMOs, really. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online is doing great. Guild Wars 2 is going to have their expansion, and I hope it does well. I hope EverQuest 2 is still doing strong. Final Fantasy 11, EverQuest 1 is still 20 something expansions deep, which is amazing to think about that a game that old is still alive and kicking. And it all comes down to that all MMOs should be successful in their own way. Not everybody's going to like what every MMO has to offer, and that's perfectly fine. But for the MMO community as a whole, for the genre as a whole, like MMOs should do good so companies keep making them and want to invest in them. And they are a lot of money to invest in. So we're looking at the future of MMOs like Ashes of Creation, which is an indie company, Pantheon Online, which is an indie company. Indie companies are now taking over to make MMOs, and they're going to be super niche, and they're not going to be for everybody. But that's going to be the future of the genre. So we still need Final Fantasy 14 to do well. We still need World of Warcraft to do well so that companies keep supporting these live services for people like us. I love the housing in Final Fantasy 14. I like having a house. I know it's a big point of contention with some people. Some of you don't have a house yet, but ESO has housing as well. And arguably, so does Rift. It's not the only one, and they do instance housing, so everybody gets a house. Can Final Fantasy learn from that? I hope that the farming, bit coming in and Endwalker allows people to decorate so that they have an instance house at least decorate in. So if they can't get one, they get their own little farmland that they can decorate. I want to see both. Like I said, I want to see all games do well, and I think it needs to stop being about World of Warcraft versus Final Fantasy 14, and World of Warcraft players need to come to Final Fantasy 14 now. No, I mean you can. I'm not stopping you. Try it out. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like it. It's very narrative driven. Some of the classes are cool. You're not going to have as many class archetypes. But hey, I played Dark Knight. That's cool as hell to me. If you are a I'm trying to think of a class that would be akin to that a little bit. If you're a Death Knight, you might like Dark Knight. Might be your jam. Warrior, you might like Warrior. Paladin, you might like Paladin. Gunbreaker's unique. Unfortunately, monks we don't have a monk tank, but hey, if it did, I know where to go. I just think that both deserve a chance. I think that both sides, are deserve a chance. There's plenty of people that are great content creators out there that are supporting both games. Hottie Chicken being one of them. If you want more on that, you should definitely go back and listen to our interview with Hottie. She was a delight, and she says herself, she loves and adores Final Fantasy 14, and she would never leave her home in Azeroth. There's room for both. There is always room for both. So I that's what I have to share. I think that we all can have space, and the genre is massive. It's not just these two. There's plenty of MMOs out there. Like I said, there's ESO and Guild Wars 2. There's plenty. There's plenty of room for all of us to enjoy. And like I said, if the genre does great, more games come to it, more innovation happens, everybody learns from each other, and better things come. And I think that's what we should do is support it. All of it. Hey, WoW players, I feel for you. I'm one too. I would love 9.1. I want to finish the story. I want to see what happens with Sylvanas. I'm excited for Endwalker Final Fantasy 14 community. ESO. I don't Don't think I don't know that expansion, it's coming. It's right around the corner. Guild Wars 2, End of Dragons? Are you kidding me? It's about time. It's about time. You know, share, build up the hype. It's good to see hype with other communities, and it's about time. Ashes of Creation Alpha coming out. New World, Amazon. I hope you do well. I really do. I really, really do. I think we need something like you out in the market. I really do. I really, really do. I think we need something like so. I really want all of them to succeed. It's just going to be better for the genre as a whole. If you agree, if you disagree, agree, comments below. Just let me know. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. If you think I'm right, hey, tell me. And if you want more of this, if you want more of my thoughts and maybe even my co-host thoughts, let us know, and maybe we can do more of the YouTube for you guys. I I hope you take something away from this. I hope that if you're a Final Fantasy 14 person and you want somebody to dip your toes into a little bit about World of Warcraft and kind of like get your mindset on that, go watch Hottie Chicken. I'm giving Hottie a shout out. Go watch Hottie Chicken. She's great. She'll show you why both games are delightful and the communities of both. Go be part of the coop. As for us, quick shout out to us. I'm gonna support us a little bit too. June 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on our Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/Maelstrom Radio. Link in the description. Sorry. We will be having our 5-year anniversary, and I wouldn't miss it. We're taking a small show hiatus. We're just putting out bonus episodes right now, so we are constantly working on that episode. So please be there. As for today, thank you for listening. As always, till sea swallows all, keep watching.